Yeah, the Ohio State came in with two open spots on the offensive line, and it looks like now we had some intel late last week, that they're trying some things around and had moved Munford inside from to left guard, and Nicholas Petit-Frere over to left tackle from right tackle, and moved Dwan Jones into with the ones at right tackle. And then when we were at practice yesterday, that's exactly what we saw. And, I didn't want to believe it, because I don't know why you would move arguably the best pair of tackles in the nation, and Thayer Munford and Nick Petit-Frere, why you would want to mess with any of that. But when we talked to Greg Studrawa on Tuesday, he said this was basically a move made by Dwan Jones and his play in camp. And he necessitated this with how well he's been playing. Thayer Munford went to Studrawa and said, hey, why don't we move me inside? And that way we can get Dwan Jones on the field, because he's been playing so well. And so now you've got a guy, Thayer Munford, who came back, one, to graduate, two, to show the NFL more of him at left tackle and prove that he can play left tackle. And now you get into camp, and Thayer Munford is the first guy saying, hey, maybe you should move me inside so that we can get the best five on the offensive line on the field. And so we'll see if it sticks. They're going to figure it out, or decide, I guess, probably on this five following the scrimmage on Saturday. But it sure seems like, from what everybody was saying yesterday, this lineup has been working well. They like it. So this might get finalized this weekend, and that could be the lineup you see in day one.
Again, going back a couple sentences, Tony, you said that they want to have a starting five and in their places by the end of the weekend.
Well, that's when they will decide if this is the five they like, but this is going to be their first scrimmage. There's a lot of decision-making that they would like to have done based on what they said. They would like to make their decision on the offensive line Saturday. If this group continues to play well, then it sounds like it will be that be decided on Saturday, after Saturday.
Kevin, welcome. Good to see you.
Thanks. Yeah, I got caught on a phone call, and I was just like, I got to go. The voice of college football is calling me.
I'm sure that
you know who we're talking about.
Oh, I'm sure that yes, brings you to action immediately. Well, we appreciate you making time. I hope you guys realize that. I think you do. That, and I hope everybody out there, leave your comments and questions, but realize what these guys do each and every week, coming here on Wednesday afternoon to talk Ohio State football with us. It is much more than an hour obligation by the time we schedule and trade topics and do all the things that go into a little preparation for this and in the aftermath each and every week. So, of course, that's Kevin Noon from Buckeye Grove on Rivals. We're talking about this offensive line shuffling, Kevin, which seems to be centered on Dwan Jones, but do you think it possibly speaks to anything else going on up front in regards to who's playing, who's not playing well?
No, I don't. I think it's just a case of you need to try and get the five best guys out there. I mean, I remember when we were talking, and I don't want to repeat anything that Steve or Tony may have said, but I remember when Brandon Bowen was playing guard, and we're talking about what a giant guard out there doing that. I mean, we're looking at the potential with, sliding Thayer inside and everything else. What does that mean or whatever? But, I don't know if it's necessarily a case that anybody is not, getting it done. I think it's just a case of you see these guys who are performing very well. And if your best five really does include Dwan Jones being out there, I mean, we're not that far removed from him being the fourth best tackle on the team. And now you're going to sit there and move, you're starting right tackle, to left, and you're starting left tackle to guard. I mean, I don't know. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around this. It's something that I've given some thought to of what it looks like. Just the run blocking could be tremendous in this situation. I mean, I think Minnesota better be ready for some ground and pound action if this is what the line looks like. But, I think that the skeptic in me who just has seen the diamond formation and heard the talk of the bullet and everything else, is this the latest red herring as Ohio State delivers it to us on a silver platter? It's like, we don't let you see much practice, but we're going to let you see this. And then we're going to have you write about it at length so everybody knows what's going on with it. I don't know. I'm just not sure that this is what it's going to be. But then again, the more I doubt it, the more likely it's going to become reality. So I'm hesitant to say thumbs up or thumbs down, but I certainly don't think it's because, this player or that player is underperforming. Greg Studraro said, "Oh, I've got 10 guys who could go, and I think our twos could start at a lot of places." And, we get a lot of those pleasantries or whatnot at this time of the year. But I think at this point, that's pretty close to truth.
Steve, your thoughts about this offensive line? Whoa, did I do that? I was trying to make sure that Steve's mic was on.
Hello, am I on?
You are on.
Okay.
And you've got the floor.
Yeah, I think it's still early in camp. And as Tony pointed out, today was supposed to be a big day for them, probably with some type of a scrimmage. It sounds like Saturday will be another big day for them where they'll probably run a 100-play scrimmage or more and really get a sense of who can play. And I think when you have all of those plays stacked up, you're able to make some value judgments, particularly with the offensive line, who's best at run blocking, who's best at pass blocking, with the quarterbacks, who executes the offense, who moves the team, who completes passes, who's accurate, who can make all the throws. So they're kind of on parallel paths right now, trying to figure out who should play quarterback and also what alignment the offensive line should be in. I think the good news is they have 6 first-team guys and potentially as many as 8. When I throw in there that it's probably between Paris Johnson and Matthew Jones at the right guard spot, it would seem. And then you also have Josh Fryer, who could play guard, and Luke Whippler, who could play center if Harry Miller isn't able to do it. And then Matthew Jones may also be an option at center as well. He played center in high school. So you have a lot of directions and a lot of moving pieces and parts. So I really consider them having 6 first-team guys, 2 more guys who could be first-team guys, and then some other guys that could fill in around the edges as well. So they can go in a lot of directions here with this offensive line. And I don't think, however it ends up, I don't think there will be a game in the 2021 season where the offense underperforms and we come out of it, dare I say, they lose a game. I know perish the thought where they come out of the game. We said, man, the offensive line really cost them that game, which we have seen in the past where they couldn't protect the quarterback or they couldn't establish the run to the level that Ohio State is accustomed to, which is generally 200 yards rushing or more as a team in a game and 250 or more passing as a team in a game. I don't think we're going to come out of any game this season and say, man, that was a dog crap game by the offensive line. They really didn't play very well. If they lose games, it's going to be because of some other unit, in my opinion. So to me, this is all just semantics when you're talking about, DeJuan Jones is going to be our mainstay at tackle. Well, he's going to play about 60, 70% of the snaps there, and then some other guys are going to get to play too, in my opinion, because I think they're going to mix and match. And I know people are like, 5-man cohesion. We got to have that. Well, I think there's also something to be said when you're playing in severe conditions in September, like a noon game on September the 11th against Oregon. It could be 100 degrees on the field. It might be your benefit to rotate offensive linemen and have the strongest 5 ready to go and churn people in the fourth quarter. So to my way of thinking, I think, we can't make any definite statements yet about who's doing what to who, but it is interesting some of the rotations we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's a great point, Steve. And one that I will make concerning the offensive line is kind of my pat answer is that it's the most complex unit to coordinate and all the combinations and so forth and so on. So I'm sure they run in dilemmas all the time where those are our 2 best left tackles. Well, they can't both play left tackle. So one of them's got to move somewhere else. Well, one of them's more versatile to go to other spots. The other one's not. So we might be playing our 2nd best left tackle because the other guy is more versatile. Those sorts of decisions have to be made at times. And also I think I should have learned from my many years in television, and I'll draw some analogy that everybody thinks everything's all neat and pretty and worked out perfectly when you go to air because they don't see any obvious mistakes. But because I tend to look at this and think, oh, they better get this together and they better figure this out in the next few days because they're going to have to go rep after rep after rep with the same starting five for weeks after weeks on end. No. It's kind of the same as television. It may look pretty in the end, but people don't know that there were, 18 points of contact involving duct tape to make it happen. But it looked good in the end. And these guys play football. They know what they're doing. They've played football for a long time. They've got coaching. They've got to make moves on the fly, and they get it done. Sure, you want to have a plan in place, and you want to have a plan B, C, and D ready to go. But sometimes you got to be prepared for the unexpected.
Well, and last year prepared them for that. They had several different offensive line combinations, and they talked last year about how they were able to build cohesion within the week. And it wasn't as important as it has been in the past where, yeah, you want those same five guys to go for as long as they can. All of these guys, a lot of them they're all back, and they experienced last year. And I don't know that the season-long cohesion is as important as it has been in the past because they've learned to do it week by week. Now, I'm sure they don't want to be on that same kind of schedule this year, but they did get some good experience doing that last year.
Yeah, you trot Max Ray out there at Michigan State, granted, empty stadium and a really bad Michigan State team, and he comes out there and grades out as a champion. It goes to show that these guys were able to step into tight positions and be able to perform at a very high level. And I think that that's going to carry forward, even if some of the names are a little bit different. And you have like true freshmen like Donovan Jackson already repping in the two deep and whatnot. I think this is going to be a team that's going to have, an incredible offensive line. And maybe this will put some of those Coach Stud dissenters to rest a little bit.